now that we know what the polynomials are, what terms are, we are going to start on doing algebra, solving for algebra. Okay. So example 1 right here, you have it on your sheet as well. For each statement below, write then solve an equation, determine each number. 3 times a number is negative 3.6. So can you translate this sentence into a math equation for me? Max, would you like to?
Which one?
Yeah, exactly. So let's have your package out. Okay, Lucas?
3x equals negative 3.6.
Perfect. 3x equals negative 3.6. Okay. 3 times the number, that's why it's 3x. The number, you don't know what it is. That's why you put a x to represent the unknown. Is means equal. And then, yep.
1.2.
Good. How did you do that?
Calculate.
Okay. What did you do on your calculator?
3.6 divided by 3.
Perfect. So remember when it says solve, it means my final answer. I want x equals something as my final answer. It should always have this form. X equals something, x equals something, x equals something. It's a number. So 3 times something equals negative 3.6. It's the same as saying negative 3.6 divided by 3. So that you get x by itself. So x equals negative 1.2. Okay. And how do we check if our answer is correct? Yep. Sorry? So how do I know negative 1.2 is in fact the correct answer? Leandro? Ibrahim?
You can substitute x into x.
Yeah, so you can put your answer back into the original equation. So 3 times negative 1.2 thus give you negative 3.6. Okay, perfect. So that was A. What about B? A number divided by 4 is 1.5. Adihi?
N over 4 equals 1.5.
Equals 1.5. Good. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's n or x or a, any variable. So whenever you see a number, it means that's your variable. That's what you're trying to solve for. So something divided by 4 gives you 1.5. So how do I solve for n then? Jenny?
You multiply both sides, so basically bring it over.
Right, so you can do 1.5 times 4 and you get 6. Right? And if you do submit back into the original, 6 divided by 4, you do get 1.5. Okay, what do you notice? Like, how do I know? When should I divide? When should I multiply?
If it's like multiplying, then you should divide to take away the number beside x because you
Good.
just want x.
Good. And then here, since you're dividing, you are doing multiply. And that's why, if you look at the title of this this handout, is solved by inverse operations. So you're doing the opposite to undo it. Right, Max? All right, I'm going to keep calling on you. Okay, so that is pretty easy, basic, but of course the math does get a little harder. Okay, but it's not too bad. It's only 2 steps. So solve, then verify your equation. 4.5d minus 3.2 equals negative 18.5. So again, I'm trying to solve, which means my final answer, for my final answer, I want d equal. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to. Okay. On the left side of the equal sign, I have that 4.5 and that minus 3.2 that I want to move away, I want to get rid of, I want to undo to the other side. So should I be dealing with the 4.5 first or the negative 3.2 first? Badar?
Negative 3.2.
Good. How do you know?
Because you have to basically remove the increment into a positive on the other side.
Right. Okay. So in the past, you have always been told to do bad math this way, right? when you're solving, what you want to do is go in the reverse order when you're solving. So in this case, I want to deal with the negative 3.2 first. I'm gonna undo this part first. And as we said, inverse operation means I'm going to do the opposite. So since this is minus 3.2, I'm going to add 3.2 on the side. Okay. After I move that negative 3.2 over, what's left on the left? Jenny?
4.5 equals.
Good. Okay, so after I move this negative 3.2 away, all I have left on the left side is just the 4.5d. Right side, I can combine these numbers. So if I have my calculator, I don't have my calculator. Somebody borrowed my calculator yesterday. What does it equal? Negative 18.5 plus 3.2?
Negative 15.3.
Negative 15.3. Thank you. And then now, this is just exactly like what we did up here. I can move that 4.5. I can undo it by doing multiply or divide? Divide, good. Okay, so divided by 4.5. So, Jenny, the answer?
Negative 3.4.
Negative 3.4. Okay. And then again, if I want to check my answer, I can do 4.5 times negative 3.4 minus 3.2, and I should get my answer negative 18.5. Alright. So this chapter, the good thing is you can actually check all your answers before you submit. Alright. You can know that you got perfect on this test before I even mark it. Okay. B, who wants to try B? Okay.
So first, 7.2 minus 3.
Perfect. Move that 3 over by subtracting. So I get r over 4 equals 4.2.
And then 4.2 divided by 4.
Should I divide? It's dividing on the left side. Multiply. Good job. So I should multiply it by 4. And I get my final answer, r equal 16.8. And again to check, 16.8 divided by 4 plus 3, you should get 7.2. Okay. So the trick to this is with the two steps equation, you're always doing the adding or subtracting first, and then you do the multiplying or dividing. Okay. Example 3. Using an equation to model and solve a problem. A rectangle has length 3.7 and the perimeter is 13.2. Write an equation that can be used to determine the width of the rectangles and then solve. So let's draw a quick little diagram. The length is 3.7. So that means this is also 3.7. And I know that the perimeter is 13.2. Okay, what don't I know? Sorry? The width. Okay, so since I don't know the width, that's my unknown. So I'm going to write a W to represent my width. Okay, just like on your test yesterday, how do I calculate the perimeter? Out of all the sides, right? So your perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So I know what my perimeter is. It's 13.2. I know what my length is. It's 3.7. And I just don't know what my width is. So I can set up my equation like this. Okay. Does it matter if I have my variable on the left side or on the right side? No. Okay. X equals 3 is the same as saying 3 equals x. So it doesn't matter if it's on the left side or right side. So 13.2 equals 2 times 3.7, 7.4. Okay. Somebody tell me my next step. Okay, Aduhi? Right. So you don't always move to the right. My W is on the right side. That means to undo it, I have to undo the 7.4 to the left. 7.4 is positive, so when I move it over, it's going to be, what's the inverse operation of positive 7.4? Minus, right? A minus 7.4 on the side. All right. Be careful of how you do this. Okay. There is a big difference between 7.4 minus 13.2 and 13.2 minus 7.4. Okay. You'll get your signs wrong. So on your calculator, you can do 13.2 take away 7.4, and you get the 5.8. If you do it the opposite way around, you're going to get negative 5.8, so be very careful. Okay, so 5.8 equals 2W. Again, I want W by itself. So the last thing I need to move is the 2 divide, because this is 2 times W, so to undo it, I'm going to divide. So, sorry? 2.9. Yeah, so 2.9 equals W. Okay, and again, it doesn't matter if you write W equals 2.9 or 2.9 equals W, they're the same. Okay, fortify. Okay, so to check, I'll write it out. So to check, I can do perimeter equals 2 times 3.7 plus 2 times 2.9, because that's the answer that I just found. Substituting it into my equation. So when I do this on the calculator, 2 times 3.7 plus 2 times 2.9, I do get the answer 13.2 centimeters. So I know it is correct. Yeah.
If you don't show that you checked on a test, will you lose marks?
Yeah, if the question does say fortified the solution, I do require this part. Okay. I won't ask that in every single question, but for the questions that tell you to do so, that means it's worth marks. Okay. It's a good habit to do it for all the questions too. But of course, finish the whole test first, and then if you have time at the end, do that for every single question. Okay, last example. Okay, this one, we actually did something similar in chapter 1. So remember how I said every once in a while we'll go back to chapter 1, chapter 2, so that you don't forget what you did. Okay, 7% of a number is 56.7. Okay, 7% of a number is 56.7. Can we translate this sentence into a math equation? Adihi.
So 7n over 100 equals 56.7.
Okay, sure. Or 7%, what is that? Remember in the very first chapter, I said whenever we do the math, we never write percent as part of our equation. We always have to change it to a decimal. So what is 7% as a decimal? 0.07. So just like what Adihi said, she said 7 over 100 is the exact same thing. But just to skip that one extra step, because fractions, it's very easy to make a mistake with. So if you know that 7% is 0.07, you can just write that. Okay. Of a number means, Badar?
No, I know the answer.
Okay. Of a number means?
0.07 and
Yeah. So of a number, of means times, a number means n, is means equal, and then 56.7. Alright. So we did this in chapter 1. We know how to solve it, and so now we just know the formal way. Okay. So it's just like deja vu, recapping what we learned. Okay. And so what do I do with that 0.07?
You divide it by 56.7.
Perfect. Okay, again, whatever you're moving, that's what you're doing the inverse of. So there is a big difference between 0.07 divided by 56.7 and 56.7 divided by 0.07. So the order does matter. Whatever you're moving, that's what's going to the bottom. Okay, so n equals, Badar, your answer?
810.
810. Okay, yep.
I did it differently.
You did it differently? Did you get the same answer?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear what you did.
6.7, and then divided it by 7 and just times it by 100.
Okay, yeah, you could do that too. Why you do that? Because just like what Adihi said, she said 7 over 100 times n equals 56.7. So you divide it by, so when you move that 100 over, you times it by 100. And when you move that 7 over, you're dividing by 7. Right? So in other words, we just did the exact same thing. Okay, good job. Okay, and then here, check the solution. So 0.07 times 810. And you do get 56.7. Okay, so you learned about algebra, and now you're solving algebra problems. You will see a lot more word problems in this chapter, because that's the whole key to solving algebraic equations. Is if you can apply your algebraic skills in word problems and solve for unknowns. Okay, so make sure. So that's why in the homework, this long weekend that you guys have, make sure you do try all the word problems here. So homework is going to be number 9 to number 22. Okay, to save paper, notice I have 2 pages on one. Okay, so I did 2 pages on one. So your homework is from number 9, so all this, and up to here. So instead of saying page 1 to 2, I'm giving you the questions because 4.2 starts on this side of page 2. All right, so 4.2, don't worry about it. We will do this on Tuesday. Okay. Any question? What's for homework? Not page, okay? Question number 9 to 22. All right. You do have the rest of the class. You still have about 30 minutes. You can get a lot of this done. All right.